and welcome to episode 62 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. And then don't forget to hit that notification bell right beside the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I am so excited to be back with you guys with a brand new podcast episode. I have so many things to talk about this week. I finished quite a few things. I'm designing some new items. It's been a really awesome week, and I am excited to share all of my progress with you guys. So a couple of things here at the beginning of the episode. You can find the link in the description box below to the show notes for this episode. So if you have any other questions about what I'm talking about, or if you want some direct links, be sure to check that link down below. And then, of course, if you have any further questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I am more than willing to answer any and all questions you may have. Now, I do apologize for the slightly unfortunate lighting for this episode. It is threatening rain. Might actually be raining. So anyway, a little bit more shadowy than usual, but hopefully it isn't too distracting. But yeah, 'tis the season for rain almost every day where I live. I'm from Alabama, and we get daily thunderstorms. Anyway, today is Saturday. Gonna look at the date, July 17th. And yeah, it's been a really long week, a really crazy week, but I've still gotten lots of making done to share with you guys, and of course some life update things as well. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and hop into some finished objects. I have quite a few finished objects, one of which I am wearing. So let's go ahead and chat about that. Alrighty, so like I mentioned earlier, I do have multiple finished objects to share with you guys, and the first is what I am wearing. So this is my completed drop VT, which is a pattern by Claire of Perfectly Knotted. I cast this on a while back, and I finished it up this week, and I love it so much. It has quickly become one of my most favorite things I've ever made. It just fits perfectly, like exactly how I had envisioned. It's not too short, but it's not too long. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light. I could go on and on, but in short, I absolutely love it, and I could not recommend the pattern more. So the yarn that I used is Knit Picks Shine Sport in the colorway Wisteria. I was honestly really on the fence with this color. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I usually don't gravitate towards these pastel colors. Like a good grubby blush pink is like my favorite color, and it's about as pastel as I'll typically go. But that being said, I love this color so much. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I'm loving wearing it. I've already worn it a couple of times. I've gotten some pictures of it. I posted them over on my Instagram page. But yeah, really enjoy it. So a couple of things about this pattern. It is top down V-neck. I did decide to add a crocheted slip stitch border along the V-neck area because I thought it was a little bit too wide, and the crocheted slip stitch edge really helped bring it in. As you can see, it's still wide, like it's a very open top, but at the same time, I think it really helped finish it off nicely. Also, it was my first time doing the increases that Claire called for in the pattern, and I'm not gonna lie, I totally messed them up a few times. So it was kind of a way to hide that as well. You can't really tell, but this side is definitely a little bit more messy than this side. So I mean, I don't know. It's not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a difficult increase necessarily. It's just not what I was used to, and it took me a little while to get the hang of it. So anyway, the slip stitch kind of helped hide that, and then also along the back, I'm trying to turn around in my chair. It's also very open because there's a lot of stitches along the neckline, and I wanted to bring those in as well. I went up, if I remember correctly, I did the second size instead of the first size. I think that's correct. And typically I would do the smallest size. So it's a little bit big in the neck area, but I really wanted to ensure the positive ease that the body would have in that larger size. So that's why I decided to size up, and I'm really happy that I did. I did the sleeves to pattern, so I did the drop stitch edge, and then the little garter rows. I did shorten the body overall, so I don't know if you saw my foot there. I'm sitting crisscrossed in my chair. So anyway, I did shorten the body by about half, so I did a little over half of what she called for because I wanted it to be a little bit cropped, and then I did the drop stitches just like she recommended. I kind of played around with it a little bit. At first I only thought I would do 1 drop stitch repeat, and then I thought I would only do 2, and then I decided to do all 3, and then I had to play around with the bind off as well. So anyway, all in all, it turned out so good. I'm honestly already dreaming of making a second, so I'm definitely going to have to do that. I don't know, I don't think it'll happen this year, but I'll probably make another one next summer, I think, because I just love it so much. I've already moved on to another garment though, so yeah, really, really love it. It's an amazing pattern. I highly recommend it. The layout is honestly unlike anything I've ever seen before, but it was really easy to follow at the same time, so definitely suggest purchasing the pattern and making one for yourself. It would look so good on everybody, so definitely give it a little look-see. So that is my first finished object. I love it so, so much. Now my next FO are my July socks. So last week I shared that I had 1 done, and now I have the second. So let me grab my other blocker here. It has another sock on it because I have yet another FO. Anyway, so these are the Austin socks, which is a free pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I have been wanting to know this pattern for quite a while, and I'm finally getting around to it, and I love it so much. I definitely plan on knitting more of this pattern, more socks of this pattern, because it was really easy to follow, really easy to memorize. Really, really love knitting them. So I did make a couple of modifications for the pattern. I did an afterthought heel, which is from my own pattern. The Success Socks pattern is fully in my Ravelry shop and everywhere else blog as well. So I did do that instead of the traditional heel flapping gusset that she called for. I just really love knitting afterthought heels, and they fit everybody in my family so well, including myself. So it's kind of been my heel of choice for the past little while. So yeah, I decided to just do that, and then I did a little bit shorter of a leg than what she called for as well. Mine, I think, is 40 rounds, if I remember correctly. And she usually does more than that, like, I think 60-ish, maybe. I don't honestly remember what she called for in the pattern, but definitely longer than this. But if I were to knit my socks as long as Kay knits hers, they would come up to, like, practically my knee, which is a little bit ridiculous. So yeah, 40 rounds for the leg plus a 20 round cuff is pretty much perfect for me, so that is what I have stuck with all this time. And then yeah, I also did my toe as well. I don't even remember what she called for the toe, but I think it was just a little bit different than mine, than what I actually did. But anyway, love these socks so much. The yarn that I used is Knit Picks Hawthorne Speckle in the colorway Cosmic Speckle. It kind of reminded me of just July and fireworks and the US. Yeah, really, really love how they turned out. I think they're super cute. I have so many socks, you guys. Like, I have knit so many pairs. I don't even know where they all are. Like, I feel like there were knitted socks everywhere in my room right now. I had them all in this neat little box. Quickly outgrew that box. Moved to another box. Outgrew that one. I think I'm going to have to get, like, a big under-the-bed storage bin just for knitted socks. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I'm having so much fun, so I do not plan on stopping knitting them anytime soon. I think it would be a lot of fun to wear, like, a different pair every day this fall and winter, because I'm going to live it up. Last year, I was just getting started knitting socks, and so I had a few pairs to wear for the fall and winter, but not many. I was still kind of living in, like, store-bought fuzzy socks. Yeah, there's no reason for me to own those anymore because I have all of my knitted socks. I'm super excited. Can you tell? I cannot wait to wear them all. Anyway, so that is my next finished object. I do have another one, which is also a pair of socks. So just moving along the sock train, let me put them on the blockers. I'm actually going to chunk those over there so that I can take the picture for this episode soon. Anyway, so these are my Sock Week 2021 socks. So Natalie from Knitty Natty and the Love and Stitches podcast hosts a Sock Week. She hosted one last year. It was the first one, and she hosted this another one this year. So I participated kind of loosely. I posted on Instagram. I'm going to be posting again. And then, yeah, just some little things like that. I don't have the abundance of time to be able to spend, you know, communicating with other knitters in this knit along. unfortunately. But I've had so much fun looking at everybody's socks, following Natalie in her stories, and seeing all of everybody's progress. And then, of course, knitting my own pair. So, I knit a pair of vanilla socks. I used my own pattern, which is again, I mentioned it earlier, the Success Socks pattern. You can find it in my Ravelry shop, Etsy, and website. All of the places, basically. But anyway, this is a super simple vanilla sock pattern. Afterthought heel, cuff down, simple toe. That's about all there is to it. I have been craving a pair of vanilla socks for quite a while, and I don't even remember the last time I made them. It has been so long. I think the last pair of like full-on vanilla socks that I made was the ones that I did out of the static when I was on my beach trip. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the last pair, which has been like, you know, over a month ago or something crazy like that. So it was high time that I cast out another pair, and they practically flew off my needles. I knit them so fast. Loved every single stitch. I started them on Monday and finished them on Friday. So typically, sock week is really Sunday to Saturday, or maybe tomorrow. Sunday is technically the last day. I honestly don't even know. But either way, I lost Sunday. It was my brother's birthday, and we were gone all day. And then I started them on Monday and finished them on Friday. So yeah, and that wasn't a ton of knitting either. Like it wasn't all I worked on. So anyway, it was just a really awesome thing to have in between things. And again, my apologies for the shadows. Anyway, so this yarn is Ruby and Roses yarn in the colorway Paintbrush. It is so gorgeous. I cannot get over the colors of this and how even it is throughout the skein. It was so much fun to knit with. And of course, it is sparkly. Oh my word. I'm not sure you can see this stellina. I mean, there's a little bitty piece sticking out right there that you might can see, but I don't think it's picking up super well on camera, but it is sparkly. It's not super sparkly, like it's kind of an undertone, but it is so fun, and I cannot wait to wear these with black leggings and a cozy t-shirt come fall. Like, that is my outfit of choice, and I can't wait for it to be cool enough to wear it. So anyway, that is my third finished object, and I think my last one. But I've had so much fun working on these. I'm looking forward to casting on another pair of vanilla socks soon, for sure. I also have quite a bit of this yarn left, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that. Right now I'm saving it all. I might do like a memory blanket. I've gotten a couple of, like, not requests, but advice, I guess, to do that with my leftovers. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things I could make with them, so I'm having a hard time choosing what to actually make. But anyway, that's my third and final finished object. Now, I do have a couple of brand new works in progress to share with you guys, so let's chat about those. Alrighty, so moving right along into my non-design work in progress, I have two projects, I believe. Let me glance over my show notes. Yes, two projects to talk about. One new garment and one new test knit, actually. So two new things. First up, let's do the garment. So, I have just barely started this project, so you are like, here, let's just play a little game. Guess what this is? Oh my gosh, I'm cracking myself up. There's no way you're ever going to guess what this is. So, I guess I'll just tell you. So, earlier this year, like, I don't know why I'm saying earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a new pattern release, and I basically saw a bunch of testers finish theirs, a couple of people that I follow. I wasn't actually following the designer at the time, but anyway, so these are the Annie overalls, going to be. The construction of this is super unique. I've never done anything like it, but it's been really fun so far. I purchased the pattern yesterday, which, again, today's Saturday, so Friday. And it took me a little bit to wrap my head around what the pattern was actually like, because it is the coolest concept ever. Like, my mind is completely blown by this pattern. Basically, you purchase the pattern itself on Ravelry or whatever medium you choose to purchase from, and then you will gain access to the spreadsheet for this pattern, and you measure yourself. Like, you take all of your own measurements, and she has pictures to show you how to do that if you need them. And then you populate those measurements into the spreadsheet, and it automatically, I mean, not automatically, a lot goes on in the background. I'm sure she had to program this whole thing, but it takes those measurements and turns them into the stitch count that you need for your size. And then you take those stitch counts and plug them into the pattern. So, like I said, it took me a little bit to kind of realize what all was going on, but once I did, my mind was completely blown, and I am obsessed with just the math behind this pattern. So anyway, I have begun the actual crochet process, and this is the first pant leg. So these are going to be short overall, so it's not like full-on pants, it's just shorts, and then it comes up into what she calls the bib, comes up a little bit like to your waist, and then it separates, and they have ties or fasteners, whatever you choose, to connect the front and the back panels. So this is just the bottom of one of the shorts, so I have literally just barely gotten started. It took me a little bit to actually achieve gauge, and then I achieved gauge, worked out perfectly, but then it starts off with a foundation half double crochet, and mine was too tight. I used the same hook size for the foundation chain that I did for the actual body of the pant leg, and it did not work. It did not work out right. This one I can still feel a little bit of a difference, but it's nowhere near as bad, and it's perfectly fine. Now, this is obviously the pant leg, so it's going to go over my thigh, it's going to hit basically my mid-thigh, and then I'll join it in the round within the other one, and that'll form the waist and hip measurement. So it's honestly a little bit big for my thigh. I'm a little bit nervous about it. According to my measurements and gauge, it's going to be perfectly fine. I'm just hoping that it's not too wide for my liking, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to work out really well. So yeah, I'm super excited about this project. I know it's crazy, and I kind of can't believe I'm making them, to be quite honest, but I think it's going to be really fun. I'm using a simple color. I have a couple of shirt ideas of what to wear under it, and I think it's going to work out really well. So the yarn that I'm using is what she actually recommends, which is Knit Picks Lindy Chain. I'm using the colorway Plum, which is a really gorgeous plum color. It's kind of more gray to me. I haven't actually seen a plum that's this color, honestly. It's usually deeper than that. But at the same time, it is a gorgeous kind of a gray, purple, lavender color. And I think it's really, really nice. So I am looking forward to one day wearing these. They're going to take a little bit to make, I'm sure, a little bit of time. But yeah, I did go down a needle size. She originally recommended a 2.75 millimeter hook. I'm using a 2.5, I believe. Let's just look and make sure. Yes. So 2.5 millimeter hook, pretty small, but at the same time, it's totally doable. This is fingering weight yarn, so it's bound to be a small hook as well, but I'm having so much fun so far. Like I said, I'm only 3 rounds into it. You can barely tell what it is. Might not still understand, even after I've explained it, which, no judgment at all. I know it's crazy. But I'm hoping to have a lot more progress to show you guys next week so that it makes a little bit more sense. But this is just going to be a crazy work in progress and then an awesome finished object, I think. So, anyway, really excited about the journey of making crocheted overalls. It's crazy. I would usually never be this brave. Last year I made a knitted skirt, and that was brave. But this is going to be much more of a wearable item for me, I think. I don't usually wear skirts, so I really love that FO, but I just don't wear it that much. This, I think, though, I'm going to wear a lot. I think it's going to be awesome. So, that's my first work in progress. Again, hopefully I will have some better progress to show next week. However, I do have a lot of progress made on my test knit. So, this is one jam-packed bag. Yeah, it's too full, but it's okay. We're just going with it. So, these are the stripy socks. This is a pattern by Claire of Perfectly Knotted, the same person who designed this lovely thing. And I am test knitting this sock pattern for her. So, again, these are going to be called the Stripy Socks. And here is what the first one looks like. So, these are a DK or worsted weight sock pattern. So they work up super quick, and they are really crazy looking just because they're so thick and squishy. But it fits my foot really, really well. So I am super obsessed with this first sock. It is one cuff down and then has a heel flopping gusset. And then, of course, all of these fun colors. So I'm using the yarn that she recommends, which is Knit Picks and Love and Worsted. Let's see if I can remember all of these colors. Let's see. So this gray is Dove Heather. This purple is Seraphim. Again, I talked about last week how I always get it mixed up with the colorway names, but this is Seraphim. The blue is Denim. The brown is Brindle. The pink is Blush. And I'm not sure about the green. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, 4 out of 5. Or 5 out of 6. I don't even know how many colors that was, but in short, really love this color combo, and I'm super excited to make the second one. So I have all of the yarn in here that I need. I have my gray, and the green is called Fig. Yeah, I remembered. That's the green color. I don't think I have the label on here, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it's just left over from another project. So, no label, but I'm pretty sure it's called Fig. Anyway, love this sock, and I'm super excited to do it the second. I did go down a needle size so that I could achieve the gauge and just make it fit better overall. So I think I'm using a 3mm, I believe, needle. I think that's right. But anyway, my gauge is really nice and tight and squishy. And I'm loving this project. So that is all of my works in progress. Works in progress. Funny story. My accounting right now, one of the terms that you use to keep track of inventory is different categories. And so you have finished goods inventory and then a works, what's it called now? Works in progress inventory. So I keep on confusing works in project. I don't even remember now. Like, no wonder I get confused. But anyway, basically my accounting curriculum and my knitting terms are getting all jumbled up because they all have different acronyms and it's super confusing. I always call them the wrong things. But anyway, so that is all for works in progress. Now I do have a couple of designs, some old, some new. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Alrighty, so a little weather update. It is now thundering. So I apologize if you hear that in the background. I haven't run the weather blog that I usually read today, so I don't even know what's going on with the weather. But I have a couple of fun designs to talk to you guys about. So first off are my finished striker shorties. So I designed the striker socks for my brother for his birthday. The pattern has not quite entered the testing phase. I'm still getting it all written up and ready to go, but I'll be asking for testers soon, so stay tuned for that. But I am knitting myself a pair of the shorty version, and then I knit him the full-length version, and I finished my pair this week. So let me put them on the blockers real quick. I use Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Dove Heather for this pair. I really wanted to use a lighter color so that you could be able to see the stitch pattern really well. And I'm really glad that I made that decision. And yeah, so here is what they look like. They fit absolutely perfectly. But these are just some simple ankle socks. Here is kind of a better up-close look at the stitch pattern. But yeah, so beautiful. Again, Afterthought heel, my favorite. And yeah, they look so good. I love these socks so much, so definitely stay tuned for that tester call. It will be coming very soon. But yeah, be sure to stay tuned if you want to test these socks for me. I would love to have you. So anyway, that is my first design finish object. Next up is a half object, I guess, a half finished object. So the movie night socks, which are the socks that I designed for my dad for Father's Day, are now in the testing phase. It's going so well. My testers are just getting started today, actually, at the time I'm recording this. And so they are making their yarn choices and getting started, and it is so exciting. But I am in the process of knitting myself a pair of these socks, and here's what the first one looks like. So this is Knit Pick's Stroll, hand painted in the colorway Mixtape. I used the colorway Home Movie in my dad's pair. So I kind of wanted to keep that same theme, and I think they look so cute. I love this colorway so much. And yeah, I'm completely obsessed with it. So this is my half object. Again, I'm looking forward to knitting the second one very soon. I'll probably get that started this week, I think. But anyway, this is a super simple pattern. I cannot wait to release it into this awesome community and share more of it with you guys. that is my next design whip. I feel like I'm flying through these, but anyway, I do have one more, I think. Yes, one more design to talk about to you guys. Well, first off, let me mention this. This pattern, my Rainstorm Socks, is coming out tomorrow, July 21st. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I'm super excited to have this pattern out to you guys. I partnered up with Queen Twisted Yarns, Teresa, to give you this pattern, and I am so excited about it. I love these socks so much, and my testers did an amazing job as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that pattern coming tomorrow. Now, my last work in progress is so special, and I am possibly a little too excited about it, but so for my work, I mean, I put that in quotation marks because it isn't technically a, legit workforce job, but I am babysitting for a very sweet family quite a few times a week now. It's a pretty consistent gig, and I'm so grateful for it. Truly an answered prayer, and I spend a lot of time with these special girls, like many hours a week, and so they kind of catch on to things. Like, they know that I knit, they have special colors that they love, and we talk about, of course, and every now and then I will typically bring a project to work on. So if we are watching TV or something, I will work on a project sometimes next to them. It definitely doesn't happen often. We are almost always doing something, or one of them is in my lap or asleep on me, or something like that. But every now and then I'll have a few minutes to upload a project, and it's usually like, can I knit, or what is that? All of these questions that are honestly so fun to answer. But now they are at the stage where they are asking for things and just asking more questions, and it's so fun. So I had the thought to knit these girls, they are 2 and 5, to knit them socks. So that is what I'm doing. I'm knitting all of us matching socks, and it's gonna be so stinking cute. I cannot wait to see them all done. But that is led me to create a another success sock pattern, but for the smaller sizes. So I haven't quite figured out how many sizes are actually going to be in this pattern, but a few, I guess. It'll start, like, the largest size will be a 48 stitch count, and then I think I'm going to go down to a, 32 stitch count, which would be like probably a newborn size. So again, definitely still figuring all that math out, but I measured these girls' feet so that I could make them socks. And then I realized that I should just create a whole new pattern because I want to have it for reference for me anyway. And so I thought that'd be fun to do. So all of that to say, the yarn that I am using is Knit Picks Stroll in 2 colors, pink and purple, because one of the girls loves purple and the other one loves pink. And so I'm doing the foot in the pink color, which is Dogwood Heather. And then I'm doing heels, toes, and cuffs in Sprinkle Heather, which is this really pretty purple. So I think this is going to work out really well because since the heel on the toe will be this darker color, it won't show dirt and stuff like that as easily, which I think is really needed for little kids. So anyway, I think it's going to be a really fun pairing. And I have started one of the socks, and it is so tiny. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So tiny. So here's what it looks like. Like, literally, this is the circumference of the sock. I am, like, dying on the inside. It's so cute. But anyway, so I've literally only done the cuff. I will be knitting the rest of this week for sure. I'll probably make a lot of progress on this project this week because they're going to be little ankle socks, so they aren't going to take long. And again, they're all going to be matching. So I'm going to have a pair. One of the little girls is going to have a pair, and then the other older sister is going to have a pair as well. So yeah, really excited about this project. It's such a cute, idea, and I'm just really excited to be able to, share one of my passions like this with them. So anyway, that is my last work in progress for the day. I just love all these projects, and I love being able to share them with you guys. So I hope you have enjoyed another week of hearing about them. But we're not quite done because I do have a devotional planned, and then we will hop into a little life update. So let's go ahead and do that. So for devotional today, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different, but something that I am always growing in and continuing to understand the importance of, and that is having a biblical, worldview. So obviously, I could talk for so many hours on the subject and what it means and how, I work harder each day to have it and to have, the eyes that God has and see what He sees. But at the same time, I can't always see what He sees. I'm human, I'm imperfect. But I definitely believe that having this foundation has, made me into the young woman I am today. And I truly hope to always continue to grow in this subject. So, brief backstory. I was in public school from kindergarten through 5th grade, and then we started homeschooling in 6th, and I was homeschooled all the way up until high school graduation, and I am now a freshman in college. So I'm in my senior. I'm in my summer semester right now. I'm attending a community college near me studying accounting. So I'll graduate almost exactly a year from now, at the end of next summer. And I have already learned so much through this experience, through this college experience, but at the same time I've learned, what to focus on in my life so that I can get better in, and just so many different things. So one of the things that really stood out and was very important throughout our homeschooling journey was having and building a biblical worldview. So my family is Christian, so my mom specifically chose material and curriculum that was Christian. It was, just the choice that she made. That isn't to say there's not anything wrong with other curriculum. It's just what we decided as a family to use. And I think that was really important and really special. But at the same time, college, not obviously. If you go into a Christian college, it would be like that. But for me, I'm not attending a Christian college. And so I am not getting that same, curriculum foundation. So this summer, even though I'm taking accounting, I am required to take one science course to get a science credit, or technically 3 or 4 actually credit hours of science. But anyway, all of that to say, I'm taking a geography course this semester, and it is actually my first time taking a geography course, and I can honestly say that I'm loving it. It is so much fun. I'm really enjoying just reading the chapters and, learning more about the world around me in ways that I can actually understand and see and recognize. I did biology 2 years in high school, and it was not my favorite, at all. Barely made it through. And I think something that was so hard for me to realize in biology was not that it wasn't important, because it is important, it's amazing. But at the same time, it was hard for me to understand things that I couldn't see or couldn't comprehend or understand. And this course isn't like that. I'm learning about weather, which is something that I love doing. I'm a little bit of a geek about weather. And I just love learning the ins and outs of it. So anyway, this course has been really fun. But one of the things that it has opened my eyes to is that it is not based on Christianity and the truth that God created the world. And, while it is always extremely important to decipher between what is truth and what isn't, I also believe that it's important for us to understand both sides of the situation. Just because I believe something doesn't mean somebody else is going to believe it. And just because I believe something doesn't mean the person who disagrees with me is wrong or correct. It could be either way. So the biggest thing that I have learned about this is just to understand what other people might believe, and then to fall back on what I believe as a Christian, and to understand what is true and what isn't. And it's been kind of crazy, testing, being tested on things that I know that aren't God's design, but at the same time, I think it's opened my eyes to a whole new understanding of, all of those concepts. So, of course, I'm talking about, in a world sense, and, what created Earth, but, yeah, I don't know. I've really enjoyed this class, and I'm actually way ahead right now, so I'm hoping to finish it very soon, fingers crossed. But it just really opened my eyes and continued to help me understand the importance of maintaining that Christian worldview. So I just wanted to encourage you with that today. And then some of my favorite verses I put in the show notes. So I'm just going to read off a couple. And yeah, so one of my favorites is simply Genesis 1:1, the very first verse in the Bible, which is, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So, I know that to be true, but some other people might not, and some other people may believe completely different things. And so, while I might not believe them, and while I might not believe that they are true, I can still, try to understand them and see the value in both. And then another verse that I love is John 1:3, and it says, "All things were made through him, and without him not anything made was made." And then another one last one. This is one that I just came across when I was doing all this research. And it's Hebrews 11:3, and it says, "By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible." So that's saying that God, even though we can't see him, created the earth. And I think that's such a beautiful verse and such a powerful statement. So I hope that was a little bit of an encouragement for you today. I know it's kind of a different subject than I usually talk about. Maybe not as personal in a sense, but yeah, I love observing and enjoying creation and all of the things that God has created, and really valuing and treasuring all of them. So with that, hop into a little bit of a life update. It has been a long week, like really long. I can barely even remember this past Monday. So many things happened, but the biggest thing is that I realized that I have 3 weeks left of this school semester, and then I get 13 days off before the fall semester. I am so excited about that little break. I can barely contain myself. But yeah, I'm actually way ahead in 2 of my classes out of the 3 right now. So I am working really hard to just finish those and get them done, and obviously do them, to the best of my ability and very thoroughly. But at the same time, have that time to focus on my 3rd class, which is my accounting class. And it is the one that is extremely difficult. So I am learning so much this semester, and I'm also taking, so I talked about the geography course. I'm also taking it's raining harder now. This weather, y'all. Anyway, I'm also taking my first business course, which has really been a lot of fun. It's the simplest level that I'm required to take, and so it's been kind of straightforward and self-explanatory in a way, but I've also learned a lot. So yeah, it's been a good semester. It's been a really hard one. Learning to balance school and summer stuff and events and work and business and all of those things is quite a lot to manage. But it's also been good. So with that, I hope you all are having an amazing week, and that you continue to have one. One brief thing that I wanted to mention, I am hosting a giveaway right now, so I will include the link to that video and down in the description box below. Be sure to check it out and go enter. I'm giving away a super awesome prize, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I hope you have an awesome week full of so much making. I'm hoping to make lots of progress on all of these projects. But until then, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell again. Let me know what you are working on in the comments, and I will chat with you all next time. Bye.